Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a new video for you all today. So today I bring you guys loot from 50 hours of Wilderness Slayer, something that I've been looking forward to doing for quite some time now. And before we get started, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Ironside for re-signing me for another year, and a part of that year is that I have to let you guys know about some of the giveaways that they do throughout the year. So basically, they're giving away a very nice PC. The case is a Corsair Crystal 570X, the processor is an i7 8700K. The CPU cooling is liquid, the memory is 32 gigabytes, the graphics card is a Geforce RTX 2070, the M2 storage is 250 gigabytes, and the hard drive is 2 terabytes. So yeah, it's a really awesome PC. Make sure to check out the description below if you are interested, and feel free to sign up to win it. It is completely free. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. 50 hours of Wilderness Slayer. Right, so sorry if my voice sounds a little bit different. I did actually get a little sick overnight, so yeah, I should have done this voiceover all in one day, but what can I say? Alright, so 50 hours of Wilderness Slayer. The last time that I've actually done Wilderness Slayer on this channel was December of 2017, and the video was pretty good. I believe it was called 30 Hours of Wilderness Slayer, and essentially we were just trying to see how many mysterious emblems we could get in that time. Well, fast forward 2 years later, and mysterious emblems have gone up 70k since that last video, so I figure not only are we going to see how many mysterious emblems we can get during this video, but I also wanted to see how many Slayer points I could earn in 50 hours time. I was definitely expecting a few thousand since, you know, every single Slayer task is like 25 points, and just judging by the monsters that you do encounter in the wild all throughout these 50 hours, you know, you can actually get certain tasks done within 2 minutes or less, especially if it's in multi and you can bring a cannon. I would say the task that takes the longest is probably lava dragons, black demons, fire giants, and revenants, and the task that takes the least amount of time would be scorpions, spiders, earth warriors, and among many other things in the wilderness. So you do get a little bit of variety as it pertains to, you know, time spent on each task. And since early on I decided that I would obviously switch out my whip for wilderness weapons such as the crossbow as well as the Vigor's chain mace, I was getting massive hits, you know, such as 40s and 50s all throughout my tasks. And of course, being able to use a cannon and having Wilderness Elite Diaries done just helped me even more along the way. What I'm basically trying to say is I was trying to be as efficient as I could be while doing this video and all these tasks, and I think for the most part I pretty much was. You know, the one task that I always encountered PKers, or, you know, basically dying every 10 minutes at, was revenants. As you guys can probably imagine, there was times that I would do rev tasks and I would be interrupted every 5 minutes on the dot by a different team, a different clan, or a different set of players that just wanted to kill me. From Venezuelans to clans to gold farmers to bots. I mean, you will see a little bit of everything at Revenant Cave. So what I tried to focus on more throughout this video was all of the times that I got attacked and all the times that I did the attacking myself. As you might notice, in 99% of these clips I always usually had a spec wep at the bottom left or the bottom right of the inventory. That is for simple situations like this. You know, if you're ever going to get attacked in the wild by a PKer while doing Wilderness Slayer, you have to be able to defend yourself, because most of the time it's going to be a team or a solo player, and most of the time you're going to get tele-blocked, so you might as well just try to fight it out to the best of your ability. For me personally, I always tried to bring Dragon Claws or a Ballista, and when I would get attacked I would just switch into those weapons, and as you can see here, sometimes I would actually skull up, and luckily this time it did pay off, but most of the time I would never recommend skulling in the wilderness, especially with this risk. You know, anytime that I would bring a crossbow I would bring claws, so I would always be risking at least 25 mil at any given time if I was skulled, and most of the time I would always kind of just calculate the risk. You know, if I was in rev caves I would try my best not to skull, but I mean, really, people make it hard sometimes, especially a situation like this. Sometimes you just gotta take the risk, and most of the time it won't pay off. So just to keep in mind, you know, if you're gonna skull, make sure it's a calculated decision, because you can die very fast in the wild, especially when there's more than one person. And speaking of dying, I gotta say I did not expect to die here. I even killed these things, I believe, 3,000 times about 6 months ago, and I only died like once. But the very first task that I got this video at Elder Chaos Druids, I got 2 hits. So yeah, that was very unfortunate, but if you do get tele-blocked, then you're pretty much stuck there, since the druids always teleport you back and forth around the altar. It's a really great way to die, so I don't recommend ever risking a lot while you're at the chaos altar, because it's just not worth it. The odds are always against you. But you know what, sometimes you just gotta say fuck the odds and you gotta fight back no matter what. For an example, I figured I'd show you guys this clip here. You know, I wanted to try my very best to kill at least one of these guys, as they were disturbing my lovely aviancy task, getting all those noted bars. So I tried my best to survive inside of the God Wars cave, and then I had to run 15 wilderness levels south, and I eventually did get away. But before I got away, I wanted to make sure that I tried my very best to kill at least one of them, because again, if you're gonna get attacked, you might as well fight back. You know, I certainly know that PvP is not something that everybody is a fan of, so throughout this video, although you guys will see many clips of me dying and also clips of me killing people, I did also include every single hard clue scroll that I did receive in 50 hours of Wilderness Slayer, and I actually managed to get a lot of beginner, easy, and medium clues, but I decided, since this video is almost 20 minutes long, that we don't need to really show those rewards because 80 to 90% of them were all under 10k, so I mainly just stuck with showing the level 3s, which you can never go wrong with clue scrolls in my opinion. And speaking of clue scrolls, kind of a spoiler alert, but the very best clue of this video I did actually receive in this clip here, which was at the dig site. Just finished a puzzle box, and I did receive none other than Sarah Doman D-Hide boots, as well as a Sarah Page, and that came out to be just over 1 mil, so that was a really nice reward to see. I believe in last video our best reward was a Fury ornament kit, so it's nice to see that we're actually getting some decent clue scroll rewards, especially from level 3s. Unfortunately, I did not manage to get an elite or a master during this video. Didn't really get too many wilderness boss tasks, which I think are the main things that drop elites. The main wilderness bosses that I killed throughout this video was Venenatus, Scorpia, as well as Vedion. Scorpia I would kill anytime I would get a Scorpion task. Just bring a cannon, get a couple kills while I was cannoning the small ones. As it pertains to getting spider tasks, I really didn't do that with Venenatus too often, just because Venenatus takes a long time, and when you're doing a 50-hour video, you try to get as much variety as you can compared to just kind of sticking with one monster. So I tried to do that to the best of my ability. You know, out of all the clips, I definitely think you guys will see Revs probably the most often, just because all the crazy stuff that happens here. This was actually pretty neat though. I did actually manage to get a statue drop from the Dark Beast, I believe, which was the ancient statuette, current price value of 2 mil, and you know, just the average loot that you get from all the revenants really does add nicely to the tab there. As you can see, we were keeping track of all of the drops that we were receiving throughout this video in one separate bank tab, starting with virtually 0 items in this tab, then accumulating every single drop from every single monster, as well as the clue scrolls and even the PKs. So it really was nice to build that over time. And I will say that not every single time that I did a Dragon Claw spec did it work. You know, there were certainly many times that I would spec absolutely nothing, because unfortunately you don't really have too much strength bonus using the gear that I use with the crossbow. You know, snakeskin boots, and usually I would use an Expeditus bracelet if I didn't enjoy the Slayer task, you know, if I just wanted to get it done faster. So really didn't have the best offensive bonuses, but the defensive bonuses were pretty good. Even though I wasn't bringing a bulwark, I was always making sure to bring Phoenix necklaces, as well as combo food and Saradomin brews. You know, for small teams like this who do a quadruple Dragon Claw spec on you, it really does work, but for big clans, not so much. Certainly a task that is underrated, I think, in Wilderness Slayer is Spiritual Mages, especially with the price of Dragon Boots being at 430k. Really nice to see Dragon Boots go up so significantly over a short period of time, especially. I do believe I actually got back-to-back Dragon Boots in this clip, and I got, I think, 6 overall in the 50 hours just from Spiritual Mage tasks, which was insane. Alright, so I just want to give a shout out to this guy. Unfortunately, he did die while trying to get some herblore supplies on his Iron Man, and I did feel pretty bad about it. So yeah, just hope that shout out makes things better. You know, I bet that guy was thinking that it would be too dangerous to go to Venenatus to get some spider eggs, but little did he know. Now, I'm certainly not one to bully any Ironmen out there. I know the struggle of getting secondaries. Trust me, it's not easy, especially in the wilderness. But that's just kind of a subtle reminder that it really doesn't matter where you are, as long as somebody just sees you once and then logs in under you, or just spots you and, you know, wants to take advantage of a single second or a single minute, and they definitely will. So it's just always a reminder to be on your guard. Even if it's in under 10 wilderness, you always got to be on point, and you always have to expect the unexpected. For example, getting claw specced by a guy with an Inferno cape and full bandos at Venenatus. See, I'm not the only one that does the claw specking. And speaking of being claw specced, this next situation was pretty much my karma. You know, unfortunately, I did get frozen and TB'd on the same tick, and I didn't really have any food left, just a few brews, so I did die, and it did hurt to lose those emblems, but oh well. And I believe at this point in the video, I was at just over 30 hours in, and I had just about 65 emblems total, which was pretty nice. You know, definitely exceeded my expectations, and I was really enjoying this, you know, from all of the variety, whether it was the anti-PKing or the Slayer or just the clue scrolls themselves. It was always really fun, so I didn't really have any complaints during this video, for the most part anyway. There is one unfortunate moment that I'm sure all of you are going to expect to happen, and all I can say about that moment is that's what happens happens when you skull up a million times at rev caves. Unfortunately, you're not bound to get lucky and get away every single time, so just prepare yourselves for that. It is coming right up. Firstly, though, just got to give a shout out to the guy who killed me with a 21 staff bash. You know, this clip would have been cooler if I would have managed to get that last Armadillo Godsword spec, but I didn't manage to do that. You know, at least going down with a double death is better than just me dying, of course. Alright, so I've shown you guys some examples of me sculling up, you know, in situations where I thought it would be safe. For example, in a situation like this, where it's very quiet, you know, no clans in the world, I'm right next to the agility shortcut. No, why not help out my fellow Venezuelans who are just trying to kill the revenants and you know, anyone that attacks them, let me just help them out. That was basically my mindset in this moment. Well, fast forward 10 minutes past that point, and this major logs in. You know, I'm thinking to myself, alright, no worries. He's not even making me skull. I'm just gonna go for it. And then he stood on me, and I guess he logged out. And unfortunately, the second he logged out, someone else with his same username, same combat level logged in, and I clicked on him instead, therefore sculling myself instantly. So, of course, I complimented their trick, and I actually tanked all of their claw specs and jumped the shortcut. Little did I know they had a maxed mage waiting for me, and I did die. So yes, I did lose a crossbow, a slayer helmet, as well as 1.2 million nightmare zone points. I believe the total loss was around 28 to 30 mil, but I wasn't too upset about that. I think I was more so upset about all those nightmare zone points because I didn't really have any on standby, and luckily I had all my rings imbued, or else I'd have to do like 4 hours of nightmare zone just to imbue my slayer helm again, and that would not be fun. So yeah, shout out to those guys. Very nice skull trick. I guess it's karma. You know, that's what you get for sculling up every single time you're at rev caves almost. And to my defense, you know, my goal in that clip was certainly not to skull. It was just to fight back. So let that be a lesson, guys. If you ever get attacked at rev caves, make sure you do not skull. Always have your attack options turned to right click only. And if you ever get attacked, don't be a hero. Just log out or teleport. Or die. That's probably better than getting skulled. This clip was pretty funny. Luckily for my clan chat, I did spam them and told them all to come to this world and help me out, or I would die for another crossbow. This was 2 hours after I lost my first one, and I skulled up right away, right again, and I wasn't even in multi this time. Unfortunately, I had skulled up on a TB'er, and then a PKer logged in right as I got TB'd, so my clan did come to my rescue, and I do appreciate it a lot. You know, feels good to only lose one crossbow in one video, not two. You know, at this point in the video, I really hadn't killed that many PKers. You know, I've just been kind of specking some people that were really just defenseless, you know, at their least expecting moments. But I must say, this next part of the video, I tried to include all of the clips where I truly had some of the best fights that I've ever had before. I think what makes these clips so special is that, you know, I'm not meant to be PKing here. I'm just trying to train Slayer, and I think these people really don't ever expect you to actually do anything. You know, maybe you can fight back, but certainly not kill them. And actually, after all of these misclicks during this fight, somehow, some way, I did manage to get the kill, and I do believe this guy lost a fire cape as well as a ballista, and most likely some confidence. But yeah, remember that guy's username, because I promise you that will not be the only time you see it during this video. But yeah, I was just watching a movie on Netflix. I believe it was The Highwaymen at this point, and I was just minding my own business, having a good morning, drinking my coffee, and then, you know, all of a sudden this guy appears again. But luckily, the first time we did get that PK of 1.7 mil. Unfortunately, not as lucky the second time he did get away. You know, something pretty odd happened about an hour after that. Basically, he came back with 2 team members, and simultaneously when he attacked me, another team came in, and then they started attacking each other. And I think those odds are probably astronomical, especially at Black Demons. But yeah, luckily they came to war with each other, and I was actually able to get away. And then I ran back to pick up my cannon, and I also picked up 1 mil in extra loot. I'd say it was a pretty good morning if you ask me, but you know, later on in the afternoon I was killing mammoths, and these 3 guys came out of nowhere and started attacking me, and unfortunately for them, all of their specs did fail, and I actually almost managed to take one out there. But yeah, guys, I mean, your first mistake was PKing at mammoths. I mean, I think that could sum it up for you right there. Mammoths, I mean, come on, man, really? Back to the Wilderness Slayer, though. Here we are with 250 tasks overall, receiving a nice bonus of 875 Slayer points, and over 4,400 of the video so far, and I think this was around hour 45 or so. Yeah, it was really awesome to see the points just stacking up like that. Really incredible amount too. And of course, we can't forget about the lovely clans that we see all around the Revenant Caves. I would say all around the wilderness, but not really. I think they really just kind of stick to revs these days. But yeah, you know, there was so many clips of me getting 2 hit and 3 hit by clans. It's not even funny. So I really didn't add in that many clips into this video just because there were so many of them. But yeah, shout out to all the clans that did kill kill me throughout this week, you know who you are. And another one bites the dust, of course, from the Dragon Claw spec, and you know, most of the times I was actually getting kills with Dragon Claws, but there would be the occasional moment where, you know, once again, this guy coming back in the picture, you know, a small team like this would attack me, and, you know, of course they would pray melee, and after that I'd pretty much be stuck without, you know, any specials, so I'd have to rely all on the ballista, and luckily I tricked this guy into thinking that I was making a run for it, and we did manage to get the kill. So gotta say, this guy, I think he's like 0 for 3 on me at this point, and he must be a little upset. I didn't actually ever talk to him. You know, usually a lot of these guys talk a lot in public chat, but yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to the physician, you know, not a toxic PKer, and at the end of the day, it was all fun. So yeah, appreciate the content and appreciate you actually risking your HP like that. Not a lot of people do that. Okay, so on to some different kind of luck, this time related towards PVMing. You know, while doing all of these Earth Warrior tasks, I actually managed to get me an Earth Warrior Champion Scroll, which is one of the Champion Scrolls that I do need for a Champion's Cape. So that was awesome to get. Did not expect that at all, and I'm really happy to actually be able to get another Champion Scroll. So yeah, it was really nice to achieve that, and also managed to pick up a 520k PK just about 30 minutes after that. Some weird major in revs, I'm not too sure what he was doing. And then the very next task after that, guess what? Another Champion Scroll. Only the downside to this one is I already had it in the bank, which I actually didn't know that I already had it. But yeah, a second Lesser Demon Champion Scroll. And if you guys think that's crazy, just wait till the next task, you know? The only thing better than 2 for 2 is 3 for 3. And what I mean by that is simply getting the rarest drop that I've ever had from a Hellhound before. The very first kill of the task we managed to get in the same drop pile, a Smoldering Stone and a level 3 Clue Scroll. So yeah, that was incredible. And according to the wiki, of course, it is 1 in 32,000 to receive that from a Hellhound, and I don't think I've ever actually received that from a Hellhound before on any of my accounts, so it's awesome to see. Now to wrap up the video before we get into the price check of what we received from 50 whole hours of Wilderness Slayer, I figured I'd put in a nice little PK and give one final shout out to my best friend during the making of this video, which is the pair of Dragon Claws in my inventory, always coming in clutch. I'm very happy that I did not lose them throughout this video. Of course, we can't say the same for the Claws bow, but yeah, these claws really did come in handy, and they actually did manage to get me another 1.1 mil PK. See that number quite a lot during this video, 1.1 mil. It always seems to be what people are risking these days. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the very end, 50 hours later, 2 weeks later, believe it or not. You know, 7 days I was inactive, very sick, didn't play a single day, and finally I was able to get this video done. 50 hours of Wilderness Slayer, and the overall results, as you can see, we did end up with 122 emblems, which is quite a lot more than we received in the 30 hour that we did just about 2 years ago. The total Slayer XP gain throughout this video was approximately 970k, but you can definitely round that up to about 1 million. Of course, we started this video with 160 Slayer points, and we ended it at an astounding 5,445. Certainly enough Slayer points for my future Slayer monster videos, so I'm really excited about that. And now we are going to price check every single thing that we did get during this video, starting of course with the emblems. 122 coming out to be just about 20.1 mil overall. You know, the emblems actually did peak at a price of 186k during this video, and then they actually went back down to 165k, so that is something to keep in mind. The price does vary quite a bit. And the second price check coming out to be 5.3 mil, as well as the third price check coming out to be 7.7 mil. And keep in mind, all of the items that you see here are just from all the monsters and all the clue scrolls that we did. Some of the items that we PK'd were thrown in as well. Fourth price check coming out to be 8.1 mil. And if we add all of those numbers together from all of the Slayer, the clue scrolls, and the PKing, it does come out to be 41.1 mil from 50 hours of Wilderness Slayer. Now in total, as it pertains to the loss that we received with the crossbow smite, as well as the Slayer helm and the Ethereum that we used for the Wilderness bow, as well as all the food and the potions, you know, I would say that, believe it or not, we probably did lose money throughout this video, but it would not have been that much. The reason I think we lost money was just because we really did spend a lot on the charges that you need for the crossbow in general. It's a lot more money than people think, but at the end of the day, guys, you know, I had a lot of fun, and keep in mind, not everything was in that price check. You know, a lot of things that I PK'd I already had in a separate tab, so I didn't really keep track of them. Overall, I'm sure we didn't lose too much, and we might have even averaged out, but we certainly didn't make any profit during this video, but that's certainly okay. I had a lot of fun, and the main goal was, of course, course, the Slayer points. I think I'll keep the emblems as a memory of this video. With all that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Thank you very much for spending the time to watch it. I know it was a long one. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. I'm not too sure when it'll be, but it'll be definitely a Slayer monster. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.